Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bremster, and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle called Box² Killer, or I think it's actually Square Box Killer by jodawo. This is a puzzle that he sent to me thinking I would be interested in because there's a nice little twist constraint in it, and yep, of course I am. And jodawo has submitted some very interesting puzzles to me in the past, so I'm always curious. As always, if you've come across a puzzle or anything that you think I'd be interested in, please send it through. Of course, the other thing that's running at them is recently we released the Polarizing Sudoku Puzzle Pack, and I will throw links above to both the introductory video and to the puzzle pack itself, and there'll be details in the description below. And because that's all off there, and I can link to all of that, I can now just get straight onto the puzzle. So how does this puzzle work? Well, I'll describe the easy things first, and then I'll get on to the tricky bit. So normal Sudoku rules apply. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. And then we've got killer cages. And killer cages are nice and simple and means that I will be using my calculator. I will throw a link to that somewhere as well. So the way that killer cages work is the digits that are placed in the cage must sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. So these 3 cells will sum to 16, these 2 cells will sum to 16, these 3 cells will sum to 9. The final rule is the one that kind of makes this puzzle a little bit special and a little bit tricky, maybe? I don't know. Which is the box square, or the square box rule. It's actually square box. I can see it in the rules, and probably so can you above me. The square box rules. I keep saying box square because box to the power of 2 is that box squared. But the rule is actually called square box, which is in box 5. And it is in box 5, it will contain all of the 2-digit square numbers, and they must be read left to right or top to bottom. So you must find in this box the number 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, and 81. They must appear in that box somewhere, which has to be limiting. And that's the point. It's a constraint. If it's not constraining, it's not a constraint. So they're the rules. Let's give this a shot. So I really want to start in this box. So we've got the numbers we need to place, and you can see them above, I think. So 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 4, 9, 6, 4, and 8, 1. So 3 of them need to have a 6. And 2 of them need to have, so the 6, 1, 6, and 3, 6 needs to... 1, 6, and 3, 6 needs to have a digit before the 6. So if I was to put the 6 in the top row or in the left-hand row, then that wouldn't work. So the 6 has to go in one of those 4, but there has to be something after the 6. So I need to put a 6, 4. So if I put the 6 here, I've got nowhere after it to put the 4. So that's all good. So it'll either go 6, 4, 6, 4, or 6, 4, or 6, 4. So the 4 goes in one of those. But I've also got 4, 9 to put in. And if I put 4 here, I've got nowhere after it to put the 9. So the 4 goes in one of those 2. Which means this has to be the 6. Because I've got to go 6, 4 or 6, 4. I can't do 6, 4. I can't do 6, 4. This has to be the 6. These are not 6. 4 goes in one of those, and whichever one that is, that means the 9 goes here. Now this means because I have to do 16 and 36, this has to be a 1-3 pair. 4 goes in here. Now, I need to do 81, so this has to be an 8, because whichever one of these is the 1, the 8 has to lead into it. So now I've got 81, I've got 36 and 16. I've got 64. So 25, hang on, so 16 I've got. 25 will go in one of these. So 25 is going to go in one of these, and it'll go 2, 5 or 2, 5. So these are going to be a 4, 5 pair, and the digits to the left are 2, 7. So this is either going to be 2, 5 here or 2, 5 here. And whichever one is going to set the 6, 4. So we get that all down to pairs, and that is completely forced. So it's kind of like a magic square. You have the digit in the middle that is forced, and you can get the rest of it down. Actually, it's a little bit more constraining than a magic square, but you get it down to these pairs with just that rule. That's very cool. Okay, so, but I think that's as far as we can get it with just that rule. Okay, so now we're just down to killer Sudoku. So what do we have? So we've got column 5. So we know that 16 and 15 is 31. And we know that the entire column sums to 45 because 45 is the sum of all of the digits from 1 to 9, and every column contains the digits from 1 to 9. So if these are 31, these have to sum to 14. So 14 minus 6 is 8. These need to sum to 8. Well, there's only one way to do this. This has to be 5 and 3, which means this is the 4, this is the 1, and we knew it was 25, and the 7 is just what's left over. So now I've got 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, and 81. Okay. And that has probably put restriction on this. I am going to use my Sudoku calculator, and this is where I'll probably try and throw a link above. It's just a spreadsheet I created about 2 years ago where I've got all of the killer cage totals on a page, and then I can pull it out to a working sheet where I can delete options that have been removed and stuff like that. And I may want to use it, I'm not sure. But we'll have a look. Actually, I can do more before I get to that. 10 in 4 can only be 1, 2, 3, 4. Because that is the minimum I can put in, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 sums to 10. So that can't be 1. I can't put 3 up there, so that is 3. So these are 1, 2, 4. Puts 3 down here somewhere, but I also know what these are. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. 1, 2, 4. So that's fully resolved. So now I've got a 15 cage. I'm actually going to look at the 15 cage there first. So it's 15 in 4. So 15 in 4, I could probably do this more cleverly, but I'm not going to. I can't use any option that uses 5, 6, or 9. So it must have a 1 in it. So there is a 1 down there, and it must have a 4 in it, and there's a 4 down there. And the other options are 2, 8, and 3, 7. Now, if it's 2, 8, it's 2, 8, and if it's 3, 7, it's 3, 7. So this is either 2 or 7 in there. That's not quite enough, is it? So let's go back to looking at these 15s and 16s. So what I want to do is grab 15 and 16 in 3. And I know a lot of people prefer to do this by doing all the math. I think it just slows me down. I can do it if I take time, but I want to solve this faster for you. And yeah, so I can't use 3, 6, or 5 in any of these totals. So anything that uses 3, 6, or 5 in, well, 15 can only be 2, 4, 9. So this is 2, 4, 9, which means this I don't even have to calculate. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8. And 1, 7, and 8 does sum to 16. So that is resolved. But it didn't actually get me anything. But it is resolved. Hang on, 16 is fully resolved though. 16 can only be 7 and 9. Which probably gives me stuff on the 13. Because 13, I can't use 9, 4. 8, I could use 8, 5. I can't use 7, 6. So this is 5, 8. Okay. Is that going to restrict this 20 cage? This has to be at least 5. Oh, no, this has to be at least 6 now. This is 6, 7, or 8. Because I can't use 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And I can't use 9. So this is 6, 7, or 8. Can't put 1 there because an 8 cage must have a 1 in it. Hmm. 5. That has to be 5 and 9 because I can't put 5, 9 in any of those cells. This is a 5, 9 pair. So this is actually known. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6, 7, 8. All of these are 6, 7, 8, and that's 9. So these are actually now fully resolved. So I know this is 1, 3, 4 without that being 1. And if that's 1, 3, 4, that sums to 8. So that has to be a 7. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 8. So those are 2 and 8. That's kind of cool. That's actually really cool. That 5, 9 pair being forced into there. I should have noticed that earlier. That 5, 8 means that that's not an 8. Nine has to be in there and in there. There must be a 9 in this 20 cage. And the other two digits have to sum up to 11. Well, I can't use 9, 2 because there's already a 9 in the cage. I can't use 8, 3 because 8 and 3 are not available. I could use 7, 4. I can't use 6, 5. This has to be 4, 7, 9. That's cool, which means this is a 6 and there's no 6 in there, which is forcing that up. There's no 4 there anymore. This is 1 or 2. Now, this either has to be 4, which would make it 1, 3, or 5, which would make it 1, 4, or 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 no matter what I do. And there's no 4. So there's no 4. So can I... Oh, it could still be 2, 3. But either way, there's a 3 in here. Because if it's 4, it's 1, 3. And if it's 5, it's 2, 3. There must be a 3 in here. $14. I can't use 9, 5. I can use 8, 6. I can't use 7. This has to be 6, 8 because the only way to make 14 is 9, 5 or 6, 8. And I can't use the 9. So this has to be 6, 8. So I've got to put 5 in here. That makes sense because 5s now line up and that forces 5 up here, but I've already got 5 listed up here. So that makes sense. Hey, 8. The two ways to make 8 are 1 with 2, 5 or 1 with 3, 4, but I can't use 1, 3, 4 because 3, 4 is there. So this is 1, 2, 5, which means that's 8 and that's 2. This is really cool. I love the way this whittles down because 1, 2, 5 here now restricts this. I can't use 1, 8. I can't use 2, 7. I can't use 4, 5. This is 3, 6, which takes 3 out of there and 6 out of there. And this 6, 8 resolves it. This is the 3. This is the 6. This is really cool. Now, is that 7 cage now restricted? No. What I want to do is the same trick I did over here on this column. Because this is 19. 19 plus 8 is 27. Plus 8 is 35. So these have to sum to 10. And the only way to get to 10, don't have 9, 1, and I can't use 5, 5. This has to be 6, and this has to be 4, which means this is 1, and this is 3, and there's no 6 there. That puts 3 in this 19. Actually, I know exactly what's in this 19 cage. Don't be daft, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And if I add 3, 7, and 9, 3 and 7 is 10, add the 9, I get to 19, and I've got that locked in. Now this has to be restricted. So 7 can be done with 1, 6, 2, 5, or 3, 4. I can't use 3, 4. If I use 2, 5, it's 2 and 5. And if it's 1, 6, I'm busted because I can't put neither 1 or 6 in there, either 1 or 6 in there. That's 2 and 5, which resolves the 9 and the 5. This is now a triple, and I'm going to get it from the 12. I'm going to get one of the digits by the 12 cage, but let's do this the way that will be less mathy to me. 4, 8, and 9. And the only way I can make those sum to 12 is by making 4, 8 there, and that becomes the 9, which takes 9 out of there and 9 out of there. This is now a known triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. And this is a known pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 6. Actually, I should have been cleaning some of this up ages ago. That can't be a 7. That can't be a 7 or a 9. That's a 3. That is a 7 or a 9. Okay. Huh. So, what's the next trick? I can tell the total of those two cells, and I can get close to the total of those two cells by having this down to 2 and being able to figure out what that is within 1. But I can get exactly what these two cells sum to. So 16 plus 13 is 29, plus 9 is 38. So these have to sum to 7. So this is either 5 or 6. And it can't be 5. This is a 6. This is a 1. This is a 2. There's no 2 in here. That 1 makes that 8. Oh my lord, that's powerful. That's 6, that's 1, that's not 1 or 8, that's 7. So that's 1. The 7 looks over here, making that 9, and that's 7. The 8 looks over, making that 4, and that 8. This is now a known pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's resolved by the 2 down here. That is the 5, that is the 2. The 8 looks back, making that the 5 and that the 8. This now has to be 2, 3, and 4, which, thank heavens, sums to 9. There's no 2 there. These are 3, 4, and 9. There's no 9 there, so that's the 9. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. There's no 4 in either of those. So that's the 3, that's the 6, and that's the 4. That takes 4 out of those, which puts 4 into there, which makes that 1 and that 4. It takes 1 out of there. I need to have a 3 in this cage. I don't necessarily need to have a 1. There'll be something else that I have missed. Though, you know, I'll get there. Probably. That 6. That 6 looks down, making that 8 and that 6. The 8 looks up, making that 7 and that 8. That's going to resolve this, but let's finish this Sudoku first, because everyone complains that I missed the Sudoku. 9 looks down, making that 5 and that 9. The 5 looks down, making that the 5 and that not the 5. I can move that over and take the 5 out of there. There's probably more I can do. That's not 8. But let's do this. These have to sum to 4, so there's no 2 in them. So that's the 3 and that's the 1. This is now a known digit. That has to be the 2. So this is the 3 and this is the 2. Now, these are down 2 triples. There's no 2 there. There's no 2 there. This is the 1. There is no 1 in either of those. Not sure yet, but what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's no 3 there. There's no 6 there. There's no 3 there. That's a 7. That's a 6, that's a 3. That 7 takes 7 out of there. More importantly, it puts a 4 there and takes 4 out of those. The 4 jumps back, making that 9. Takes 9 out of there. There's no 9 there. The 4 jumps over, making that 2, which makes that 4, which makes that 9. 2 makes that 5, which makes that 2. The 4 looks over, making that 7 and that 4. The 7 looks back, making that 8 and that 7. And once again, down to a single box, which even Bremster should be able to do. That's a 1. I need to put a 5 right there. 6, 7, and I end with an 8. And that is not my time. It's just I'd loaded up the puzzle and then I did all my setup and went and did some housework and came back and forgot to restart the puzzle. One day I might get better at that. Really, I might. Anyway, that was a really cool puzzle. I like this idea. I don't imagine that you could use it too much. I mean, I think magic squares fell out of favor a little bit when everyone went, oh, there's a magic square, I can immediately put a 5 in. Although it's just an interesting way of giving some given digits. So if you wanted to give some given digits, this is an interesting way of doing it. If you've never done it before, you have to figure out the logic for yourself. And if you have done it before, it's not too bad. You've got to go, oh, how did that work again? And that's kind of fun. I like that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, thank you, thank you, jodawo, for sending the puzzle through. I hope that you all enjoyed the square box constraint. I know I did. As I said, at some point, and I'll put a link below to my the post where I share my my spreadsheet calculator where you can grab a copy of it, and on the pop-up at the end there you'll be able to grab or jump to the post where I also have put the Polarizing Sudoku Puzzle Pack. Thank you everyone for watching, and good luck with your solving.